Prophet Elisha's mission. And remember our slaves, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all owners of strength in worshipping us, and also of religious understanding. Verily, we did choose them by granting them a good thing, the remembrance of the home in the hereafter, and they used to make the people remember it. And also they used to invite the people to obey Allah and to do good deeds for the hereafter. And they are in our sight, verily, of these chosen and the best. And remember Ishmael, Elisha, and Dulkifl, all are among the best. Was sent to the children after Elijah. He lived among his people, calling them to Allah and abiding by the message and laws of Elijah until he passed away. Then dissension rose among them, and events took momentum. Sins increased everywhere, and the tyrants increased and killed the prophets. The family history of Elijah. According to Al-Hafiz, it was said that he was the cousin of Elijah. Other sources have said also that he had been hiding with Elijah in a cave in Mount Cassian, so to escape from the king of Baalabak. And when Elijah died, Elisha succeeded him as a prophet among his people. Prophet Shamuel. The state of the Israelites after Joshua reported that the condition of the Israelites deteriorated. They committed many sins and killed one they wished of the prophets. Consequently, Allah sent them tyrannous king who ill-treated them and spilled their blood and set their enemies from outside against them as well. They used to go war, taking with them the Ark of the Covenant. They did this so that they would be victorious by its blessings, and it became a symbol of calm and a relic left behind by Moses' people. When they went to war with the people of Gaza and Ascalon, they were defeated because the Ark of the Covenant was captured from them. When the king of the Israelites heard of this, he died on the spot. The children of Israel remained like sheep, without a shepherd, until Almighty Allah sent them a prophet named Shamuel. They asked him to appoint a king over them to lead in a war against their enemies. The Ark of the Covenant. According to Ibn Asakar, the Israelites believed their Ark of the Covenant to be very holy and an important symbol of their history. That they carried the Ark even in battle, and believed that because of it, Allah would protect them from their enemies. This belief gave them peace of mind and great courage, and their enemies were terrified by it. Their enemies also believed that it was given special power by Allah. Gradually, the Israelites started to ignore Allah's law. Evil habits became part of their lives. Allah sent upon them an enemy, the Philistines, who defeated the Israelites, captured their ark, drove them out of their homes, and took away their children to use or sell as slaves. Their power was broken. They separated from one another and were very disheartened. Samuel comes to the Israelites. Then came Prophet Shamuel among them to bring some relief. They asked the prophet's help in appointing a strong leader, a king under whose banner they could unite and fight the Philistines. Prophet Shamuel, knowing their weakness, told them, I fear that when the time comes to fight you may refuse. But they assured him that they had suffered enough insults and were now ready to fight in the way of Allah, even if they lost their lives. Prophet Shamuel prayed to Allah for guidance. Allah revealed to him that he had chosen one, Saul Talut, to be their king. The Prophet wanted to know how to recognize the future king. He was told that Samuel would come to him by himself, and that they should then hand over the control of the kingdom to him, for he would lead them in the battle against Philistines. Saul is appointed king. Saul was tall and sturdy, pious and very intelligent. He lived and worked with his father on their farm. One day several of their donkeys were lost. Accompanied by his servants, Saul went in search of them. They travelled for many days and were very tired. Saul said to his servant, "Let us rather go back, for I am sure that my father will be worried by now, and the other animals must also be cared for." His servant suggested that as they were already in the land of Samuel, the prophet, they should go to him to inquire about the lost donkeys. Saul agreed, and they carried on, and on their way they asked directions from some maidens carrying water. They were told to go in the direction of the mountain. Here a vast crowd was waiting for the prophet Samuel. When Saul set eyes on him, he instantly recognized him as a prophet by his holy men. Samuel also recognized Saul as the king that Allah had chosen for them. Saul greeted the prophet respectfully. When he asked about his missing donkeys, Samuel told him not to worry. His donkeys were already on their way to his farm. He then told Saul that Allah had chosen him as the king of the children of Israel. His duty would be to take charge of their affairs, to unite them under one banner, and to protect them from their enemies. If he carried out Allah's commands, he would be given victory. Saul was surprised by this sudden honor offered to him. It was also a heavy responsibility. He protested to the prophet that he was of the children of Benjamin, the least famous of the tribes of Jacob. He did not know anything of leadership or kingship, and had no wealth. Samuel told him that it was the will of Allah that he should be the king, that he should thank Allah for his favor, and be strong in faith. Saul is appointed king. Taking Saul by the hand, Samuel led him to the children of Israel, but they insisted on a direct sign from Allah. Prophet Samuel told them to go outside the city to see the sign, which they did. Almighty Allah revealed, "Have you not thought about the group of children of Israel after the time of Moses, when they said to a prophet of theirs, 'Appoint for us a king, and we will fight in Allah's way'? He said, 'Would you then refrain from fighting if fighting was prescribed for you?' They said, 'Why should we not fight in Allah's way while we have been driven out of our homes and our children? Families have been taken as captives.' But when fighting was ordered for them, they turned away, all except a few of them. Allah is all aware of the Zalimeen, polytheists and wrongdoers. And their prophet Samuel said to them, 'Indeed, Allah has appointed Saul as a king over you.' They said, 'How can he be a king over us when we are better fitted than him for the kingdom, and he has not been given enough wealth?' He said, 'Verily, Allah has chosen him above you, and has increased him abundantly in knowledge and stature. And Allah grants his kingdom to whom he wills, and Allah is all-sufficient for his creatures' needs, all-knower.' And their prophet Samuel said to them,